The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
And a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. And blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I think it's safe to say that students here at Notre Dame are very goal-oriented. They work very hard in high school to get here, and once here, they continue to work hard to achieve their next goal, a Notre Dame degree. And with a Notre Dame degree in hand, they want to make something of their lives, to be successful, to be the best they can be. You know, goals are good because they help clarify the future. They determine much of the way we act. The feast we celebrate today is important, for it brings to mind another goal for which each of us should strive: the goal of conforming ourselves to Christ, of living His life, of becoming saints. Now, a saint, as you know, whether officially canonized or not, is a holy person who has done great things, not as measured by society's standards necessarily, but by gospel standards. Perhaps we have felt that we don't have much in common with these holy men and women, thinking that sanctity is something impossible, an impossible feat, which really only a few can achieve. But nothing could be further from the truth. Sanctity is not reserved for just a few Christians. It is expected of you and me because we are all called by our baptism to put on Christ. Not something accomplished overnight, of course, but over a lifetime, day by day. Heroes may well be saints, but not all saints are heroes. On the contrary, more often than not, they are very ordinary folk like you and I. It is true that many saints have been reputed to have done great things, even to have worked miracles. But can you think of a greater thing to do with your life in this world, a greater goal to have, than to live the gospel message in spirit and in truth, to become a saint? How can we tell if we're on the path to sanctity? Jesus tells us in this morning's gospel passage on the Beatitudes. If you are poor in spirit, if you place the things of this world in their proper perspective, then you will be happy. You will be blessed. If you are gentle, responding with kindness and patience when you could easily lose your temper or become upset, then you'll be blessed. If you hunger and thirst for what is right and just, if you respond honestly and sincerely when others are being wronged, when you know something to be unethical, unfair, or unjust, and speak up, then you'll be blessed. If you are merciful, if you forgive those who have offended you, those who may have cheated you or wronged you, those who may have humiliated you, then you will be blessed. If you are pure of heart, if you speak honestly, without deceit, if you are a person who is trustworthy and of integrity, then you'll be blessed. If you are a peacemaker, if you reconcile differences between others or differences between another and yourself, then you'll be blessed. If you are persecuted, if you stand up for what you believe as a Christian, even if it means ridicule or rejection, then you'll be blessed. Notice Jesus makes no mention here of performing miracles. Christ has shown us the way, and countless Christians have shown that it is possible to walk that path leading to holiness. Today's feast honors all these men and women, the obscure as well as the famous, including those saints each of us have known in our own personal lives and who have died. Each time we gather in this basilica, we are reminded of the saints, for we are surrounded by holy men and women pictured in our stained glass windows and in our murals. They remind us that as we worship here, we join our voices with theirs as they worship before the throne of God in the heavenly city of Jerusalem. But we do not merely honor saints like we honor George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. We venerate saints, first as models of faith, and second, as intercessors. I always take great comfort in my patron saint, Peter the Apostle. In spite of his weakness, his impetuosity, his saying the wrong thing oftentimes, his lack of faith, his infidelity, even his cowardice, Jesus not only forgives him, but places him as the head of his church. Certainly, St. Peter had a long way to go in growing in holiness, in living out those Beatitudes. But after the events of Good Friday and Easter Sunday, he would never waver again. He would remain steadfast and faithful, even to his own death in Rome, where tradition tells us he was crucified upside down. When I become discouraged by my own sinfulness, I find strength and hope in the example of St. Peter, who himself knew the forgiveness and mercy of Jesus. I encourage each one of you to get to know your own patron saint, who can be a model and source of inspiration for you as well. A second reason for venerating the saints, as I mentioned, is that they serve as powerful intercessors on our behalf. Think of all the times you have asked someone to pray for you, or when you have been asked to pray for someone who is sick or in trouble or in need. It means a great deal to that person to know that you are praying to God for him or her. So too with the saints whom we invoke to pray to God for ourselves or for others. These holy men and women cannot help but be powerful intercessors on our behalf as they stand before the throne of God, wearing those white robes and holding palm branches in their hands. If we here on earth can intercede for one another, surely the saints do so for us in heaven. Yes, it's safe to say that all of us here are very goal-oriented. Today's Solemnity of All Saints invites us to look anew at the Beatitudes and to ask ourselves whether our lives are really set on the goal which, in the end, is all that matters. Holiness in this life and union with God forever in the next.